Hello YouTube, once again back at it with the Mazda 3. Today I'm going to be showing you my Airbox mod. I don't know if I talked about this in the introduction video of this car, but I'm going to show you my Airbox mod. I did an intake resonator delete, but I never plugged the hole and I never put a tube or anything like that. And the negative downside of this, and I did quite a bit of research on this, is where it's at. It's right, right under here, right under this bolt. It pulls the air from where the bottom of the engine is and where the transmission is. And when it is hot, then you're pulling in hot air. So that can be a problem with low-end horsepower, which is something that I have noticed. High-end horsepower, you do see, I have seen a gain from it, but that's probably also because I have a K&N drop-in. But I have seen a little bit of reduction in low-end horsepower when the car is warm. So I'm not going to plug the hole. What I'm going to be doing instead is taking some hose that I got at Lowe's, and I'm going to be routing it from the hole where the intake resonator used to be, and I'm going to route it up and down underneath the bumper, and I'm going to be putting it somewhere around here so I can draw in all that nice cool air. So first things first, I'm going to do a sound demonstration with the car completely stock. I have the original air filter in there right now, the standard Mazda filter, and then I have the intake resonator. I put it back in, I plugged it in, just so I can show you all the sound comparison. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start up the engine. It's not too warm, but it should warm up fairly soon after I start it up. And I'll give you all some revs and some intake noise. Alright, so now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting my K&N filter back in here. I'm keeping the intake resonator down there. So this way you could just hear just what a K&N drop-in sounds like with no intake resonator delete. So based off the two videos, I'm not really sure if you can honestly tell the difference from your end, but in person, definitely, the K&N is deeper and richer sounding than the standard air filter is. So if you're going to go ahead and do Airbox mod, go ahead and just do the K&N filter, definitely, because you get extra performance, obviously, because it's a little bit freer flowing. It also does result in better miles to the gallon. I have been driving on a K&N filter for about 2 or 3 months, and I have seen an increase in MPG from between 39 and 40 to about 41, 42. It's a small increase, but it is an increase. And obviously more sound. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the intake resonator delete, and we're going to be routing the tubing out to the front bumper, and then I'll shoot a sound comparison video. So if you want to do an intake resonator delete, the easiest way to go by it, of course, is with the front bumper, but I might be attaching the tube to the front bumper. Probably not, but maybe. So I'm gonna keep the front bumper on there. But if you want to do an intake resonator delete without having to remove the front bumper, there is an easier way to do it. So first thing you're gonna wanna do is remove this tray. So under the bumper, there are 3 parts. So as you can see, I have the Skyactiv model, which includes the aerodynamic under tray. But as I said, 3 parts. That middle tray piece, the fender liner, and then the tray. So first thing you're gonna wanna do is undo these bolts right here. So right under here, that deep hole, there's a 10mm socket. You wanna get a deep socket and you wanna undo that bolt. There should be 3 of them, 3 identical ones that attach the front end of the tray that goes underneath the engine and transmission. Then you're gonna remove that middle piece. So there should be, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips head screws or 8mm hex bolts, whichever one is your preference. You remove those, and then there are 2, 1 and two 10mm bolts. That's how you remove that middle tray. And then there are two more 8mm hex or Phillips head screws that attach fender liner to the bumper. And this way you can just bend it down and reach in there. It's all plastic. And so once you've done that, you will go in here, and that round thing is your horn. And this box, the one I got my hands on right here, that is your intake resonator. So there are a set of screws, or no, sorry, bolts that attach. I'm gonna try to get the camera in there a little deeper so you can see better. Okay, so I just removed the intake resonator because the box was just too big and you can't really see it. But from underneath, there are 3 10mm hex bolts. So there's gonna be one right here. As you can see them, but from the box there's gonna be one. If you're viewing it from the front towards the back, it's gonna be 1 on your left side and 2 on your right side. They're stacked above each other. You remove those 3 bolts, you take the resonator out, you just pop it out. It just pops out of the socket, which is going to be up. Where's it at? It's up right there. So hold on. There's the hole right there. That's where the intake resonator attaches to the airbox. All you gotta do is slide it out, it comes right out. And once you've removed that, now I'm going to go ahead and attach the tube. So this is what I'm using. It is 1 1/4 inch diameter RV septic tube. I just test fitted to see if it works. I can confirm it does. You can do 1 1/2 inch. You can make it work. It's just gonna be a little bit tighter, but you can make it work. I have managed to slip this in to the tube where the intake resonator tube was. Sorry, where the intake resonator tube was. There's the hole where it attaches the airbox. This does fit. I can't confirm that. And then I had this little elbow just in case it didn't fit right, but it looks like I may not need this. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the zip tie, and I'm going to size it. And I'm going to see how much of this I'm going to need and how much of it I'm not going to. And then I'm going to make a cut somewhere along the joints. Alright, so after stretching it out and measuring it out, because it's a little stiff, I can guarantee you, probably take my word for it, is 25.5 inches long. 25.5 inches long is the length that I cut for the tube. So if you're curious about doing this yourself, 25.5 inches is what I'm doing. Honestly, I would recommend 30, but just based off where the joint was, I figured I'd be best if I cut right there. Let's go ahead and get this thing on, and we'll do a sound comparison. Should be pretty sweet. All right, so I just put it on, and this is what it looks like. So I have the 45-degree tube pointing up into this grill mesh right here, right? Or depends on where you drive, how you drive, you can actually point it straight out this direction, and you can get a ram air effect. But I don't know how comfortable I feel about water getting through here in here, so I'm pointing it up and hoping that all this will prevent water from coming straight into here and then coming up to here. But anyways, so where I have it attached is this bracket right here. I just shoved it in here and it holds it pretty nicely. And then the tube goes up, up. And let's see, I don't know if y'all can see that, but it goes into the hole where the intake resonator was. And it's not moving too much. I mean, the hose is moving, but it's not moving out of there. If it's 1 1/4 inches, all you gotta do is shove it in there until it clicks, or like, you know, you'll feel it. You'll push it in there, and it holds itself in place past a certain point, and then you just drop the tube out and over through in here. So we're gonna turn the engine on, and we're gonna get a sound check. All right, guys, I don't know about you. I don't know if you could tell the difference on camera or not, but the sound is really, really nice. It really does sound nice. I mean, the tube costs, what, $5 at your local Lowe's or Home Depot. The K&N drop-in is about, I want to say 40 or 60. I can't remember the price, but it's somewhere around there. You know, and the intake resonator delete is free, right? So you just take the intake resonator off, put a tube down on the bumper, and then there you go. You have a cold air intake. Instead of spending $300, you can spend about $65 max and get the same results. And it sounds great. Doesn't sound, you know, like, and there's no rattling or anything like that. Nothing sounds loose. You know, it all sounds solid. You know, I feel great. It feels great. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out on the road. I hope you all enjoyed my custom Airbox mod for the Mazda 3 Skyactiv. You know, it pulls in cold air. Just the tube right there should be pulling in cold air. So it has the stock intakes right under here. And then the cold air tube is right on the bumper. Should be pulling in plenty of air. It sounds great. And it should feel great once I get it out on the road. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the results. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.